Have you guys been playing Geometry Dash and trying to beat a new demon? However, the demons that you find are just too hard for you. Well, you're in luck, because this video, I will be giving you some of the easiest demons of each difficulty for you guys to play. However, before I start the video, I would just like to say that practice makes perfect, so just because you find these demons in this video doesn't mean you can beat them instantly. And as well as that, this video includes demons that I think are personally easy, so it's mostly just opinions, but reasonable ones from me. Anyway, enough talking, like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. Now, the first easy demon that I'm going to be recommending is a very popular one. It's in fact the second most popular level in all of Geometry Dash, and it's the Nightmare. Now, this level is actually pretty easy, as most of it is just cube, ship, and ball gameplay. And it's a very old level and very easy to read, as it's quite slow. However, there are some parts you need to be aware of when playing this level that are kind of hard, and usually all that hard stuff starts at 45%, where basically it's a lot of ship and a lot of fake parts and a lot of invisible blocks that obviously a new player playing this level might actually be quite hard looking, especially with all the gravity portals too, and the weird paths. But it's actually not that bad if you think about it. Also, the end starts to get more fast, but with practice, obviously this level doesn't actually get that hard. With that being the most popular first starter easy demon, it will now come to my personal choice as to what I think is easiest. And this level I actually beat as my first easy demon, and in my opinion I think is easier than Nightmare with practice, but it's demon mixed. And you guys are probably wondering, why would I recommend this if you can literally see off the bat this is harder? Well, wait a minute. Is that the Nightmare recolored? Yeah, I mean, like the level name states, it's just other easy demons that are all bunched up tiny parts together, and it's actually not that hard. It does seem more intimidating, I have to be fair, because of the fact that there are more mechanics being used in this level. However, if you actually practice it, this level does have fakes and a tiny bit of memory. However, it's actually, in my opinion, probably even easier if you practice it. Because although it looks really hard, it actually is super easy if you know what you're doing. But yeah, that's all the easy demons, and time to go to the medium demons. Now, the first medium demon that I want to recommend, and that a lot of people would also probably recommend, is B. And this is a very good starter demon. It's got a bunch of boss fights. However, even though I did beat this as my first medium demon, it was kind of hard somewhat. There were a bunch of boss fights. It was really well decorated, so it was kind of hard to sight read, and you did have to learn the level a bit in practice mode. And also, the level did intensify at fast speeds at times. However, this level isn't actually that bad once you learn it, like I said, and it's actually quite easy and fun. But yeah. And now for what I think is personally the most easiest medium demon is this level called Kiln. It's actually a pretty short level, but it's also very easy at the same time. And with 8% of the level already technically being auto, it's actually pretty easy if you turn on low detail mode. And here I didn't have low detail mode on, obviously to showcase the whole level, but with turning off shake and turning on low detail mode, it's actually quite easy to read. And the gameplay here, it looks very it doesn't look open, you know what I mean? And it looks hard, but I genuinely can promise you that if you practice this level, it actually isn't as hard as it seems. In fact, this was my second medium demon after B, and I found this way easier, so I don't know why I didn't go for it. But here we're already basically at the end. It's a very short level, like I said, and here you just got this last final wave part to go through, and then you basically beat the level, which was not that hard. But yeah, practicing this level makes it very easy. Now that we're done the medium demons, it is time to go into the hard demons, where now things start to get more difficult. So for some reason, everyone for their first hard demon likes to pick out 9 circles. And actually, I've tried beating this, but this is just way too doo-doo of a level for me. Now, aside from basically getting to the drop, I don't really know why a lot of people might like this. Obviously, it's very waved focused. However, the beginnings I felt were just way too hard for me. And even though now at this point, I could probably go back and beat this level now, if I was targeting this level to be my first hard demon at the time, I wouldn't say it would be the easiest. And that's why I have actually an easier choice. And now I accidentally found this level on Nexus's channel from a showcase because it had really good decoration. However, when I actually tried to play the level by myself, I found out that it was a hard demon that actually was fairly good to play. It was fun, it had good sync, and it was actually pretty easy if you practiced it. And honestly, yeah, I mean, the key parts as to why this level is pretty easy in my opinion is because most of it is on sync with the music, and if you go into practice mode, you can actually hear that. And although it is well decorated and fairly fast, it is actually kind of easy to sight read, and if you need, you can still turn on low detail mode, by the way. But basically, going into practice mode, it's actually quite easy throughout the whole level. It's pretty much easy to medium demon difficulty, if I'd say. And really just the difficult part of this level is that it's XL, so it's going to be quite long. But still, I think this is easier than 9 circles, at least in my opinion, like I said earlier. However, I was actually able to beat this, so that's why I can say so much on it. But anyways, with the hard demons done, let's move on to the insane demons. The first insane demon that a lot of people and I would actually like to recommend finally for the first time is Windy Landscape, as this is my first insane demon and it's actually pretty easy once you practice it. And although I said that for all the levels, this one that actually applies to a lot because like around halfway in the level there's pretty much like a duel that like makes up most of the level and is kind of iconic, so that's why I'd say practicing is mostly useful for this level. But mainly what makes this level so hard is basically like these hard timings and like the duels all around the level. But actually once you practice it, it's not that bad because most of the clicks are actually like synced with the song, which makes the level not only like kind of easier to tell what you're doing, but it's actually also more fun. And for our next insane demons, some people might actually say this is the easiest, and I personally think this is the easiest as well, but it's called 64, and basically it's just this really slow level based on literally only skill. And although around halfway in the level there is some sort of memory part, it's quite easy. Here's the code for it. But you basically just gotta hit these trigger orbs in like the correct like numbers. And after, it just seems like a bunch of wacky gameplay, but it's actually all slow and pretty easy, which is why I thought this was kind of an easy level to beat. And since I beat this, some of the parts that I would recommend practicing the most, because it's actually slow, but there are some normal speed parts, it's probably here, basically somewhat like a third into the level. And then although it's still slow, I would recommend practicing the ending as well, because you could end up dying there. I don't know, the ending was easy to me, but you should still practice that. And with that being all our insane demons so far, it is finally time to go on to our extreme demons. Honestly, the first extreme demon, the starter extreme demon at least, that everyone's been recommending is of course Oh. So in my opinion, I think that Cataclysm is actually the easiest extreme demon. It did seem pretty hard at first, but I was able to get it really quick and easy, as the level was actually not that bad. And obviously this is for my opinions, and for my skill sets, Cataclysm is easier than Accu. Like Accu is obviously easier because of like the skill sets other people have, but I just can't beat Accu. And obviously compared to the other levels, this one is a massive step in difficulty, as speed changes are very likely to come, and honestly you have to be very good at a lot of skills like ship, wave, and overall just every single game mode. But as long as you can get to at least 50%, that's when parts in this level actually get slower and make it more manageable to beat. But with tips I can give you besides obviously practicing, probably learn the click patterns and get consistent at this mini wave here, at least for me, because I thought this was like one of the most hardest parts in the level, and then get past this kind of like short like straight fly section, and then basically learn the fakes to like this part of the level, and then learn this dual ship, which is pretty hard. However, if you get done, obviously won't be that bad after, but you do gotta be aware of one last slow wave, which although looks kind of easy, you still have to be aware because you might still be able to die to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Cataclysm, and here is the extreme demon that I personally recommend for like a starter one. And it's actually for a different skill set, but I personally, in my opinion, fit the skill set because it wasn't even that bad, but it's basically Dark Odyssey. Now I just sped up the whole level for you guys, but essentially it's a 6.5 minute long level which mainly prioritizes its length for player endurance rather than actual level difficulty, since basically the whole level remains ranging from an easy demon to hard demon difficulty throughout. And while I can't give advice on the whole level since some of it is just slow and easy already gameplay, I will be able though to give advice on the other parts that are mainly harder. Now basically the hardest parts of this level, which you definitely gotta practice, because although there are other hard parts, they are still manageably easy through practice mode by itself. However, these parts you do need to thoroughly practice through and actually learn the click patterns and what you're doing, because well, these are dual parts that are basically the hardest in this level. And I mean, the duel itself is actually pretty fun to play through, but I did not know at first how to get through these, and I would say the best way to practice these duel parts would be to watch other people beating Dark Odyssey with their clicks on, so that you could actually like learn the click patterns. It's in my opinion the best way for you to actually learn these, and you want to be able to learn these duel parts because that's the hardest parts. However, there is this one part where it's basically just like a straight fly, which does seem pretty stressful. However, if you actually get through, basically means that just the whole level afterwards is pretty free. And that's basically all the extreme demons done. But yeah, that's all I got for this Geometry Dash demon guide. And so yeah, I'll see you another time. Like and subscribe. See ya.